Hey everybody, welcome along to episode 176 of Percussion Discussion. Please check out all of our social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course our world famous YouTube channel where you can find all of our conversations past and present. Please subscribe to the channel if you can. You won't find any adverts to get in the way. It just helps grow the channel and spread the good word. If you'd rather listen on the go, then all of our conversations are available in podcast form. These are free to download from your favourite podcast provider. So if that's your thing, you know what to do. On to today's guest, a remarkable British drummer who has an incredible feel. He really does have a feel to die for. He's got a super impressive list of clients who he's played for already on his list, including the likes of Nicole Scherzinger, Meghan Trainor, Jason Derulo, Nina Nesbitt, Conor Maynard. The list goes on and on. But for the last 8.5 years, he has been the drummer for the sensational Raye. You will have seen, I'm sure, the incredible footage from Glastonbury this year. TV appearances all over America with the latest smash hit, which I'm sure you've all heard. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome the incredibly busy and the incredibly talented Mr. Matt Brooks. Matt, thanks so much for doing this.
Oh, no worries, man. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we finally made this happen.
Yeah, I seemed like I've been hassling you and going, when can we do it? In a nice way, hopefully, not in a pushy way. It's
No,
like,
it's been
yeah,
all good.
I'll work
It's
with
to
you.
be fair, I felt really bad because I keep saying, oh, maybe this day or maybe that day, and then it doesn't work out, and then I'm like, oh man, you know, keep letting
But
you down.
but that kind of tells us an awful lot um about your musician life at the moment. It's a bit crazy, isn't it?
It's very crazy. It's very crazy. We're here, there, and everywhere pretty much.
Because you said, oh, I'm in the US at the moment. I don't know. Are you
Oh no,
UK or US?
I'm in the UK.
You're in the UK now,
So
but
I've got,
you've been in the
yeah,
US recently, haven't you?
yeah. So we did, funnily enough, we did a trip out there. We did New York, LA, came home for like 3 days, and then went back to New York, came home for a day and a half, and then came to where I am now, which is a residential studio where we're just working on some stuff.
That's just crazy. I mean, when do you sleep? Because obviously it's not great for sleep, is it, when you're doing transatlantic flights all the time?
No, I mean, if you want to sleep, this probably isn't the job for you, really. So, it's just that moment where you'll have a free moment in the day and you just see people just take a quick nap just to try and, catch up on the hours
Yeah.
and stuff. And then with the time zones of going back and forth, it takes a while to get back on the clock
Hmm.
as well of just a regular sleeping pattern. So you just take what you can get and just try and be sensible.
Yeah, I'm sure. And do you manage to like sleep on planes and stuff, or is it really difficult to do?
So I've got a really great skill of being able to sleep anywhere.
Useful.
It's very easy. I've slept standing up before.
God. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So,
So it's
if I
easier
need
for
to,
you.
it's easier for me. Then the problem is having the time to sleep rather than being able to
Hmm.
a lot of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Well,
even when I'm away as well, like for example, if I'm in LA, 8 hours behind, I always I've got two kids, um, only my oldest is in school, so I make sure I call no matter where I am in the world. I call before school every day. So like I was doing that, and I do that wherever I am, whether
hmm.
I'm in the UK or Japan or wherever. But even that takes its toll because it could mean I have to set an alarm to wake up just after I've gone to bed and then try and get back into sleep after that call and then wake up a few hours later to start my day wherever I am. But it's the sacrifice I'm willing to make
Yeah.
to make sure I keep that connection.
Proper parenting that. I know I've got two, and I'm very lucky. I get to put them to bed each night, and
Yeah,
most nights. So yeah,
yeah.
I appreciate you what you have to do there. But that's great. So yeah, things are chaotic at the moment, and you say you're in a studio. Are we allowed to talk loosely about what you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, so we're just working on the album,
Oh right,
essentially.
okay, cool.
Yeah, so yeah, it's as simple as that really.
Yeah.
Working on the album, getting things done. And also kind of um working towards all the touring and everything as
Mm.
well. So kind of got two different brains going on. Because yeah, as you've probably seen, the tour starts in January,
Yeah, it's a big one, isn't it?
so we've got a lot to get done by
Yeah.
then.
So
Yeah,
when you say the album, is this a new Ray album or the
yeah,
coming?
yeah,
Ah, that's cool. So you're going to be
yeah.
playing on this as well.
Well, you never know. All my stuff might get cut, So we'll see when the
I'm sure
final
it
thing
won't.
delivers.
So, and are the songs? I know you can't go into too much detail. Are the songs all written? Are you just getting them down at the moment, or what stage are you at? I know you can't say too much, but
Yeah. So, I mean, she's always writing, so
mm,
there's every chance that we get a few new songs next week that need to be done. So
of
you never know. It's not finished until it's out, basically.
course.
But we have been able to be involved in some writing as well. So there's a song that we perform. Um, I think the first time we did it was Glastonbury. It's called "I Know You're Hurting." A few of us in the band contributed to the writing of that song, and I think there'll be maybe one or two others as well
Mm,
that we've actually not just playing on, but have contributed to as writers as well. So
yeah,
that's cool.
I think that's amazing and pretty selfless as well. I like it when artists, let the band, let the musicians get involved. Because you never
Yeah,
know where it's going to, it could take a different avenue. It could, you never know where it's going to go. And I think do you enjoy having that input?
I love it. But, one thing I've observed throughout my time is that you kind of have like a live band that does the shows and the touring, and then artists will go in the studio, and then it's the big session guys from LA or wherever that get to cut the records, and it's like, well, your band's got to play it
Mm,
anyway, so maybe getting them involved. If they're good enough to play it live, why can't they play it in the studio, and stuff? And I know sometimes you want a specific sound or flavor, so that is what it is. But on the whole, um, yeah, I think it's great to be involved in that process, and I'm so glad that we've been given that opportunity.
mm,
Because one thing, as you get older, it's like you want to leave a legacy.
mm.
It's great to play loads of shows, but in 150 years' time, if the world is still here,
Fingers crossed.
maybe my great, 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 great grandchildren can pick up a record and, oh, my granddad was contributing to this song that's still being played on the radio now, you know?
If vinyl is still around in 150 years, I'm going to be really happy. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I mean, yeah, isn't that nice? And as you said, it happens time and time again where they bring the names in who don't
hmm
tour with the band. But like you say, if you're good enough to do the whole tour, and let's be honest, most people are going to see this tour, see you playing, recreating those parts. Why not do it in
yeah,
the first place? You know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And anybody who follows you on Instagram, we know your skills, so you're not lacking in any departments when it comes to drums. So,
That's a nice outside observation. If you
well,
were to ask me, I'd say I'm lacking in so many areas.
well, yeah, but you're always kind of hard on yourself, aren't you? Well, you should be anyway. I
I'm
think. I
very
don't,
hard on myself.
but I think that's a nice thing. But from us outsiders looking in, it's like, wow, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The first time I really became aware of Ray, I don't really listen to much current music because I,
Yeah.
I tend to listen to what I listen to, and I put something on, and it was Glastonbury, and
Oh wow. Okay.
it was just it was my wife. She said, "You need to watch this." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." And the whole thing blew my mind from start to finish. The way the great way the band came on. You took your little bow
Yeah.
with your
Yeah. Yeah.
percussionist, and it was just, I was like, oh my God, this band, look at the size of the band. And instantly, before I'd heard a note or she'd sang a note, my respect for her was literally through the roof. I thought, she's bringing out a band, well, an orchestra of this size,
Yeah. Yeah.
when she could do it with a five-piece band and tracks and make a lot
Yeah.
more money. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was like, yeah, she's the hero.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then blew us away as well. And so it must be great working with a band of that size, Matt.
It is. It is like, you spend a lot of your time when you kind of start in like the pop world and stuff, doing like a two-piece band setup or a three-piece. When you're lucky, a four-piece. But then when you look around and the stage is filled with musicians, and like some of them are like, notoriously known in the industry for having been played on countless records or, highly respected by the world's best musicians and stuff like that, and I'm here with you. It's like it's crazy. And then of course just the sound that we're able to generate and the music's able to move more. We're able to put our feeling into it more because we're not so constricted when you've got like, 32 lines of backing tracks and stuff like that.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And I'm guessing there's no track involved then, because there's every there's literally every instrument and multiples of on that
There's
stage.
sprinkles. There's
Is there?
sprinkles,
Yeah.
especially for like, we have like the dance section
Yeah.
where we go into like the EDM stuff. So then that stuff's got a lot more. But yeah, generally speaking, and then the main thing is like time code for lights and,
Sure.
stuff like that. There's really not much going on there at all.
It's just, well, I mean, there's, you look at what's on the stage, you struggle to think what else you could put on a track. I mean, the
Yeah,
backing,
exactly.
there's going to be no cheap vocals on there, that's for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that
firepower of
definitely
all the
happened.
vocalists, it's just
Yeah,
insane. Oh,
yeah,
just, yeah, I think you have possibly the hottest gig around at the moment, don't you? You really do. I can't think of much
yeah.
else.
People keep saying that to me, and it's like I think I know that I'm really blessed to be where I am, not just because of the profile that Raye now has, because I've been with her about 8.5, going into 9 years now.
Mm, mm,
So I was there when we were doing like 200 cap venues as well. Um, but one thing I've admired about her from the beginning is that she's a hard worker
mm.
and she's a musician. She plays instruments, but she cares about music and expression and stuff. And she requires more from you than a lot of artists would in the best way possible, though. Because you'll hear a lot of musicians say, you come back off tour and say, oh, yeah, I've been playing the same songs every night for 2 years and I feel stale and I feel rusty and because but we're constantly having to raise our game. We're constantly having to learn new songs, even during a festival run or, and you're constantly kept on your toes and, you might have to play some stuff that's out of your comfort zone as well. I get into like different genres and stuff and it's like, well, I better get it, because, you know, as a musician, you don't want to be a weakling
No.
either. So that it actually makes you a better musician. And I'm so grateful for that because I definitely can see in my playing that I've grown as a musician
Yeah.
just from working with her.
Well, I watch what you do, and every performance I've seen you put up on Instagram, and I honestly, I don't mean to blow smoke up your backside here, but I can't think of anybody who would fit the gig better than you, from for what you bring to it. So it's like, yeah, I get it. I mean, you've got the great feel, no question, and you've got the chops when required.
Yeah,
Wh- you don't need a lot else than that, do you? For the stage,
yeah, yeah,
and there's a whole load of other stuff behind the scenes, but for that
yeah,
stage, yeah, you've got it. Amazing.
yeah. I think it helps as well that I've kind of so there was another drummer before me in the really early days, but like I said, for like the last 8.5 years, I've been involved, and so even though I'm not the music director or anything like that, I've still been able to kind of be a part of shaping the sound.
Mm,
Because obviously the way I play sets the foundation for everything else. So then it actually started to become a thing, like where I place things or where I place the backbeat and the groove and stuff like that. And so hearing you say it sounds like there's no one who could play it better. And the thing is, I think there's people who can play better than me, of course. There's millions of them. But in terms of this gig and the understanding that I have from my time here and everything like that as well, I think that's what's allowed me to be in that position of
mm.
like, Neo in the Matrix. Like on stage, I like communicate with the band and keep everything on track and
Mm.
lead the band essentially. And I think just that length of time, knowing Raye and as well, just helps me to do that well.
Mm. Well, it's a wonderful band, and I'm absolutely thrilled that it just keeps going up and up, doesn't it? There's not, let's not, there's no argument here to have, but she's going to be an absolute megastar, isn't she? She's already pretty
Yeah,
much there, but
yeah,
which is just insane. And the fact that you've been on the journey for nearly 9 years is just incredible as well. So you've grown organically together, which is just
yeah,
the
yeah.
best way, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, and those pearl drums are sounding sweet.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I'm very happy with my drums. I just got a new kit sent this week as well.
mm,
So you'll see that on the tour next year. But I thought it's the sound I was looking for the
yeah.
studio as
Hmm.
well. So I've just been using it in the studio, but you'll see it next year for
So
sure.
sounding good.
Oh man, I'm more than happy. More than happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can well imagine. And you put a little post up about two snare drums. I think was it Frank Jacobs that had sent it to you or something or something.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
there's like a chrome over brass with a marine pearl inlay or some
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
seen it. I've never seen a drum like that before. Have you tried it yet?
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds great.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Like I've been using that one for the past couple of days and just tuning it up and down
yeah.
because it sounds so good.
Mm,
So
amazing.
I'm really happy. I just wanted to have some options really,
Mm,
for sounds and stuff. And of course, like I was with another drum manufacturer before. Um, and so I'm still exploring the full kind of what Pearl has to offer
mhm.
outside of what I already knew and know. Because I grew up as a Pearl fanboy, I had pictures of Pearl drums on my wall.
Yeah, yeah.
It was always my favorite brand of drums. But obviously, a lot of time has gone on since then. There's been a lot of new additions to the line and everything like that. So it's just like doing my experiments and stuff, and not just being complacent really.
Mm,
Another thing about being with such a musical project is that you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing for the Sonics
mhm.
as well. And so even as the music changes and things change, it's like, well, okay, the heads of my drums might change, or the type of drums or the wood that I'm using, or the diameter or depth might change.
Mm.
The cymbals that I use will change, and it's like even just the way I set it up will change.
Do you change? Do
So
you
I'm
change much? Do you change it much?
um I think the things that seemed for me over the last few years at least that get changed the most are things like
All right.
pedals and snares and rides. Yeah, pedal snares and rides.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Interestingly enough,
But
which
not.
isn't like a thing for me.
Yeah. But not setup
Um,
of drums in as where they are, and that's you kind of solid on that.
that's that's pretty solid. That will change for next year.
Yeah. Interesting.
It will definitely change for next year, and I'll go back to more of what I grew up playing and what's kind of my natural kind of setup. But when I
Mm.
started doing more pop music and stuff, I just went conventional 10, 12, 16. I'm not a massive like two floor tom guy.
No.
Um, unless I really have a purpose for it. And even then, yeah, sometimes I might have one to my left and one to my right rather
Hmm.
than. But again, we'll see what I come up with for next year. It's not going to be anything like revolutionary or oh my gosh, he's completely broken the mold or anything, but
Three bass drums.
it's just going to be different
Yeah.
to what anyone's seen me with, especially in the last few years,
Ah, cool.
for sure. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, look, let's go back to your kind of beginnings in music, if you like. I mean, what's your first? And I ask a lot of people this. What's your first memory of music, rather than drums itself? What's
Yeah,
music
my,
in
yeah.
general?
My first memory of music is church.
Hmm.
So my granddad had a church, and he had one son that played the keyboard, Uncle John, Uncle Phil, who played the bass, Uncle Roy played the guitar, and then my Uncle Ben and my Uncle Stephen played the drums. None of them play anymore.
Hmm.
They kind of packed it in, many, many, many moons ago, before I was even old enough to even know if they were good or not.
So you never got to
But
play with them then?
no, no, no.
Oh, that's sad.
So that's like my kind of introduction to music and just being exposed to it. Um, and then maybe like my sister sings.
Hmm.
So my dad became a pastor of the church, and so my sister was like the singer, and my brother he started off on drums actually, and there was someone else playing the keyboard. But when that person left, he went to the keyboard. I mean, I didn't have any drums, but I had always had this thing for drums. I didn't necessarily know that I wanted to play, but I just knew I loved the drums.
Mm.
And so I just remember one time one of their young kids' stepdad bought him a drum kit and he brought it to church. And I was like, ah. And I would just go in after the service, I'd just go and hit it. Literally just, what kids do.
Mm.
And then one day I was doing it and out came, and I was like, oh, okay.
Just from nowhere.
Yeah. Didn't have any lessons or anything. Didn't have any kind of understanding or,
Wow.
we didn't even have YouTube or anything to even, watch some other drummers and kind of take anything. It just came. And then from there, I started playing in church. Um, and the rest is history. But
Mm.
yeah, even like musically, like I grew up in a very Christian household, and it was very much like we listened to gospel music.
Mm.
So even a lot of the great records of the 70s and 80s and stuff, it wasn't stuff that I was even getting into me from a young age. That's all stuff that once I got older,
Mm.
I had to go and like get my head into, it was literally all gospel music. Yeah.
Wow. Do you know, I'm always envious um, when I hear guys say, "Oh yeah, I grew up playing in church," because the church I went to, very different church. No music. There was an organ and
Right.
hymns,
Yeah.
and I'll be honest, it was an effort to go. But when the church that you went to, I'm sure was a totally different ball game. Bands, and I'm guessing it was pretty loud as well. It must have been pretty loud.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Proper PA and
But not at that time.
no,
But
but well,
yeah.
now it is, isn't it? I
Now,
mean, there's
yeah,
tech
everything
involved.
mic'd up, in ears, everything digital consoles, all of that.
That's crazy. I mean, but what a great upbringing for a musician. What a grounding. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I remember um the first proper like start of what I would say is the start of my professional career properly as a session musician. I remember the first show I was with a few musicians and they were so nervous, and I was like, "Why are you so nervous?" But it's like, "Have you seen how many people's out there?" And I just remember thinking, I played at church events with more people, So it was like it does definitely prepare you
Mm.
for you know larger crowds, and yeah, it's an amazing place to learn. I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And I'm still a Christian now, and when I'm at home, I go to church on a Sunday.
Mm.
I don't play. I just go and just enjoy, and But yeah, I am. I'm very grateful because I realize so much of what I'm able to do now is as a result of things that I learned there.
Sure. And your groove and feel. Is would you credit church for that as well? Is that where you learn? You don't learn feel, I know that,
100,
but
I would say, yeah, 100%, because there was a pivotal moment for me. There's an gospel artist called Fred Hammond,
Mhm.
who, if you said to me you could listen to one artist for the rest of your life, it would be him.
Oh, interesting.
He's pretty much the reason I'm here today, in the sense of I remember he came out with an album called Pages of Life, Chapters 1 and 2. But I saw the live video, because live albums are a big thing in the gospel community. So he did a studio version of the album and then a live version as well. And then with that came at that time the VHS. um, and I remember seeing it, and I remember I saw Marvin McCritty Jr. Rest in peace. I saw him playing a Red Pearl Masters, Zildjian cymbals, Remo heads, and I heard the way he played those drums, and I was like, I want to do that. Like this guy, he like blew my mind. And that's what really made me say, right, I'm going to be serious about this drumming thing now. And funnily enough, my uncle, Uncle Ben, Uncle Ben, he was a gospel promoter. And
Oh,
so
cool.
Fred Hammond would come over to the UK a lot, especially in that time. And once I was old enough, I would be like the drum tech and like a production assistant and, stage manager, you name it, basically. Any job that needed doing. But as a result of that, I got to meet Marvin McCritty.
Fantastic.
And then he mentored me for years up until he sadly passed away. Um, but he was instrumental. And I think if any drummers know Marvin, if you hear me play, I wouldn't say that I play like him so much, but I think where I place things
Mm.
and
Flavor of
also
it, yeah.
the flavor of it and the dynamic of it, you'll be able to identify it straight away, I think.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you've had some solid influences growing up then, and not only just heard them, but knowing the guys as well, and that's
Yeah.
it doesn't get any better than that, I don't think.
No, no. I mean, my uncle was a session drummer on my mum's side.
Oh, right.
So, but the interesting thing about that was he was on tour all the time.
Mm,
So I actually didn't really get to spend any time with him. I didn't really know him other than I knew that he was my mum's brother.
mm.
And, they would talk every now and then on the phone and stuff, but I had no relationship with him. I, never got to sit behind the kit with him
That's a shame.
or anything. He passed away a while ago now.
Yeah.
Um, but he used to play for like East 17 in their heyday.
Oh, wow.
Um, and like London Beat, and like he was always on top of the pops and stuff. So there for a large period of my life, I'd seen him more on TV than real life.
Oh, I
Um,
saw a post. Did you put a post up about with the pearl drums?
yes, because he used to
Yes.
play pearl drums.
Yes. Oh, this see the whole
Yeah,
thing is kind of tying in nicely now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a thing because he came to like spend some time with us. He wasn't very well, so he came. So my mom's from London.
Hmm.
When she married my dad, she moved to Stafford, which is where I was born. And then later down the line, we moved to Birmingham as a family. But he came to be with us in Birmingham for a few months because he wasn't well. So, during that time, we just got to talk a lot and, but he wasn't well enough to like sit behind the kit or anything.
That's the same.
But he was starting to feel a bit better. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to go home, see my kids. When we come back, let's get behind a kit. And sadly, he never came back.
Ah,
And it was like that was always like from the moment I was like taking drums serious, it was like it was always my dream to just get behind the kit with my uncle, who's this great drummer who I meet people to this day in the industry and oh man, I didn't know that was your uncle. Like, oh man, he is a big influence of mine and this that. It's like
that's
I'm
cool.
glad everyone else got to get
Yes.
some of it other than me.
But can you
But
imagine now, looking down on what you're doing? Can you imagine the
yeah,
pride? It's like, yep,
he'd be I'd like to think he'd be extremely proud, yeah.
that's incredible. So it's the music is in your family 110%, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
destiny for you to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I never even wanted to do this.
Really?
So I played drums for a while. In my teens, I started getting offers to do a few like tours around Europe, some with like gospel artists and then like soul artists and stuff. I was at uni at the time, so I still didn't really know what I was doing with my life. Um, I fell out of love with it, and I stopped playing drums for about 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And then that, when I say stopped, I mean I put the drum kit that I had at the time in my dad's church. Um, didn't have anything. Didn't even have sticks anymore.
You didn't sell
And
it though.
then,
That's the thing. It must have been.
yeah, then someone who at that time had become like a good friend of mine and still is, um, was like, bro, I know you don't play anymore, but he's a music director as well as a drummer. He's like, I know you don't play anymore, but I've got this artist that I'm working with, and I've called around. It's the middle of festival season. No one's available. I know you don't play anymore, but you're more than capable. Would you do it? So I said, yeah, sure. Why not? So I did that, and that was his name is Donovan Hepburn.
Oh no, yeah, Don's been on the show. Hmm.
Yeah. Um, and I did that. I did that for him, and later on that same year, that was 2013. Later on that same year, the same artist called Raleigh Ritchie, who's actually is like a great actor as well. He's like Grey Worm in Game of Thrones, and
Oh, right.
he's in a new like series. I forgot what it's called. If it's Interview with a Vampire or something along them lines. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but he's um. I did some more dates, and then Don was like, I've got this new artist, man. I think you sound great, man. I think you and in my naivety, I thought it'd be like a gig here and a gig there, and it turned out when I said yes, like, okay, we need a passport. We've got to get visas, and we're going here and we're going there. And it's like, oh man, what have I done? What have I signed up for? So that's kind of how I got into being a session musician. It wasn't by plan, or I wasn't seeking it or wanting it to happen. I still at that point didn't have drums when I did that other work. Don had to lend me one of his kits, because I didn't have drums. And that's how the Tama thing came about as well. Um, I never really identified with Tama as a young person because every drummer I saw was white with long hair and played metal music.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, of
So I
course.
was like, well, they're clearly not made for me as a black gospel drummer, even though that had nothing to do with the sound of the drums, but
No, no.
it
Hey,
goes to
let's.
show how,
We can also say great sounding drums too. Nobody makes bad drums now, do
yes,
they?
yeah,
Brilliant drums, you know. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
So it's just the marketing what somehow told me that they just weren't for me. But
Yeah.
on those gospel tours and stuff I said I was doing around Europe, the only kit they could get me was Palmer.
Hmm.
I remember being so upset. And then I got behind the first one, put my clear emo Emperors on, tuned it up, and I was like, whoa, this sounds great. So then when that opportunity came, I was like, well, I need some drums.
Mm.
They're based like just outside of Birmingham as well, so it's local, and Donovan had the connection and helped me get that set up. So yeah, it made sense at the time. Um, and that's how it all kind of happened, but it was never part of a master plan or, I don't know what I would have been doing by this stage of life, but
So
yeah,
in the 5 years that you didn't play, what were you still doing music at that point, or were you just doing something totally different?
I was still loosely involved in music. So me and my brother had a radio show that
All
was
right.
broadcast in America.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of developed, we got heavily involved in the UK, like Christian gospel music scene.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a magazine and we had a website that was all your latest music news, events, releases, album reviews, interviews with the artists and stuff. We had an e-ticketing platform for events as well. We had a PR company all around the same thing, just trying to grow the Christian and gospel music scene basically in the UK. And so I was heavily just into that. And of course, being a musician helped because I knew a lot of people, but also when it came to reviewing music and stuff, I could review it from more than just a lyrical point of view.
Yeah.
I could listen to the production. I could listen to the musical choices, even the sonic choices, because when I was studying, I didn't study drums. I was like, I can play to a decent enough level. Let me add some more strings to my bow.
Mm.
So I did like sound engineering and studio engineering, live audio production. So I was doing like mixing front of house and monitors and
So
stage
how
management
useful
and
is that now, though?
just
You know,
extremely.
you can, if you need to ask a monitor engineer for something, or front of house, you want something changing, you can actually use their language rather than going, I want it to be
Yes.
for, I want 2.5K in my in ears,
Yeah.
you can actually
And
do it in.
oftentimes I just go and do it myself.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. If, which,
And I don't keep up to scratch on like all the new consoles. So I'm like, okay, show me how to get to the EQ. But then once I'm there, I'm like, all right, cool, cool.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Useful skills to have. So, tell me, Matt, where did your programming skills come from? Has that come from church as well, or because I know you've done a lot of programming over the
Yeah.
years.
I guess you could say it started there. So there's kind of a thing in church, especially like black church culture, where especially in my era, the drummer always had an MPC,
Hmm.
always have an and in its basic form, you would just have a loop. And we always joke about it because in them days, it wasn't all like click tracks and stuff. I had to learn how to lock into the loop rather than having a click with a loop, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And it was just like, boom, chat, chicka, 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, and bring everyone in. And so from there, you just listen to records that you're kind of, I guess you could say covering. Listen to the elements and try and recreate it or do something that you feel would work better. And then you get to the point where you're like, okay, we've only got a three-piece band now, so that horn line's pretty integral to this song. How are we going to get around that? Or, whatever it might be. And then I remember just chopping up samples and putting it on my MPC and then having to like sequence it all
That's
and
it.
then go through different sections of the song and stuff. And so I think it started with that, and then also my you kind of took another kind of approach when I went to uni and was doing like recording in the studio and stuff and just learning about audio. And, I think the first door that I properly started on in uni was Cubase.
Hmm.
I'd been messing around with GarageBand on my brother's computer, but Cubase, and then we moved on to Pro Tools and Logic. And then I was like, oh, okay, so everything's running linear in a line, and you can see you can mute this there, or you can just have this. Oh, okay. And then,
That must have been a breath of fresh
yeah,
air for you, that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah, I think that's kind of where it started, you could say. And then I remember the first gig that I properly did programming for it was, so also in the time when I was doing all the media stuff I was talking about, I was also running like a youth club
Mhm.
with my brother. And so we would take kids who would normally be on the streets in Birmingham and we'd provide them with a studio, with like a games room where they could play like on PlayStation, Xbox, pool, and just hang out, give them
Sure.
food and all that kind of stuff. And two guys out of that actually kind of became like a duo, like a rap duo.
Cool.
And yeah, so we was like, let's put on a gig for them. And obviously with our experience as well, even just from church and whatever, is like, I mean, we know how to do this.
Mm.
So let's just do it and something for them to aspire to and something for them to look forward to and be able to like show their family and friends their talent.
That's incredible.
Um, and so I remember at the time they did a mixtape. So we recorded the mixtape for them. It was a mixtape where they just like would rap or rap slash sing over exist in music per se. And this was before AI. Um, so when it came time to do the show, I was like, oh, well, if we're gonna have a band. We can't just play to the instrumental.
Hmm.
So then I had to go and recreate everything. And that's what I did. I went and recreated all the music for all the songs. And then of course assigned everyone in the band their parts and stuff. And so all of these things, like from being on an MPC to recording in the studio and seeing how that works, it kind of all was a happy marriage of, oh, okay, I understand what needs to happen now to bring this together. I mean, them two guys, they went on to sign a deal with Sony and
Oh,
had
wow.
some big hits, big hits. Um, yeah, so it was a worthwhile investment, I think, in them.
Yeah, definitely. So it also gives you your programming skills, and you're kind of in MD territory there as well, aren't you? I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
MD
definitely.
MD sort of has changed a little over the years, hasn't it? You know, a musical
Hmm.
director used to be
Yeah,
somebody who literally handwrite parts out and go, "This is," and I'm going to
yeah,
conduct. It's different now, but
yeah,
it's still elements of it there, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, so for me, as an MD, it's actually something that I'm doing less and less of because I just don't have the time
Mm.
anymore. But like, I don't write anything out for anyone.
Hmm.
Number one, because I can't. But number two, you know, the way the industry works now, you get stems of a song, you send each player their part. If they want to chart it out, they can, or if they can commit it to memory,
Mm.
and then it's just my job to make sure they're playing it right. And then also any additions, any additional arrangements, or, you know, make sure it all comes together.
It's
Yeah.
funny, you know, because you've mentioned that, and Carl Brazil's been on the show a couple of times. I've done rig rundowns and thing with him, and we're talking about his
Yeah.
MD role with Robbie, and he said he didn't really talk about much musically. He said it's more man management, just keeping everyone happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all these
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
views on it. It's really interesting, really
It
interesting.
is, man. It is like I've
Mm.
been in so many different scenarios where the MD is very strict and he is literally giving you every note to play.
Mm.
And then other times it's like, mate, I hired you for you. So if you're doing something I don't like, I'll let you know, but just do what you think. Play the record and then bring yourself to it, you know?
Yeah.
And there's everyone. For example, with Raye, I'm the band leader,
Hmm.
but I'm not the music director. We have a music director who arranges the music and comes up with the arrangements and stuff. But then again, on stage, I'm that man management person.
Yeah.
And even off stage, if someone's got an issue, I'm like the go between the band and the MD or the band and management,
Yeah.
maybe, and I kind of keep everyone happy and have you got what you need? Is everything okay at home? Blah, blah, blah.
That's good. And do you
It's
enjoy that
definitely
role?
more like yeah, I do. And it's funny because I've kind of been given that role on nearly everything I've ever done.
Says a lot about you, that I
So,
think,
well, I realized that
in a good
because
way.
that, yeah, yeah, that first gig that I did where I was talking about a lot of the other guys were really nervous. And I was like, I've done church events bigger than this.
Mm.
They had all done way more than me at that point in terms of in the pop session world.
Mm.
I was like the fresh person to it, and I was still made the band leader. And I was like, but I've only just I don't know, but for some reason that was identified in me,
Mm.
and
Mm.
yeah, it seems to be a thing.
Well, you know, as I say, I think that says a lot about your kind of personality and skill set and good on you, I say. I think it's fantastic. I really do. So look, I know you
Yeah, I
said
mean,
half an hour. We're nearly at an hour.
I think we're good for now. I think we're good for now.
It's kind of flowed nicely, hasn't
No
it?
one's no one's
Oh, that's good.
been
That's
calling
good.
my phone
Well,
or saying, "Where are you?"
that's good. So tell us, I mean, is it a blessing or a curse living in the studio, you know, a residential studio? Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I I've loved it.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I've loved it because it takes away a lot of distraction. Even just, you getting into the studio in the morning every day or whatever. Oh, now there's a delay on the trains and there's this going on, or you know something happens. 'Cause when you're at home, you'll still plan things. But okay, yeah, I'm gonna just do a quick doctor's visit before I go, but then it runs late, and then there's just
Mm.
so many more distractions. Where I feel like in this environment, you can be so much more focused,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
also much more relaxed because even when you finish, just you're not worrying about what time you finish because you only got to go upstairs. To go to bed. You haven't got to think about, oh man, I've got to do an hour's journey home or whatever it might be.
yeah. No, I get that.
So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So I'm guessing because obviously the band is enormous. I'm guessing it's the core band, like rhythm section and maybe a few extras at the staying over. I guess there's not like 20 odd of you all staying
No,
over.
no, no, no,
No.
no, no. No.
Yeah.
Just a small number of us
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. 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 Ah, that's cool. So tell us about an average day in the studio then. Like what time would you start? What time do you finish? How does it work? Or does it vary?
There's no average. Literally, it could
Mm,
be one day. It could be like a 9 a.m. The next day it could be an 8 p.m.
mm,
Not this week, but just generally whenever I'm doing studio stuff, it just varies so much.
mm,
Sometimes I'll have a tech go and set everything up in advance and I can just walk in and be ready to play. Other times I've got to come in and set things up, tune myself and prep and make sure engineers and producers are happy with the tones and stuff. And then it also depends on whatever project it may be, where they're at in the project.
mm.
Have I been given a drum part to learn and recreate? Or are they saying, create something? I want to hear what you think. I want to, and obviously that can take a lot more time than if you just, yeah, I know exactly what I'm playing. I've heard the demo. I just got to play it like a real drummer instead of, a loop from GarageBand or whatever. Um, so yeah, it's just so varied.
Would you prefer that somebody to say, look, let's have a bit of Matt in this. Forget what you've been sent on a demo. Do your thing. Would you rather that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure. I don't mind anyway, because I think coming from church, one thing I learned early was that I am here to support the song.
Mm,
Especially because in church, lyrics mean something everywhere, but in church and worship in particular, that's the crux of it. Not how great my chord is or how great my groove is. The crux of it is what are we singing and saying to, the one we worship.
yeah.
So that's always carried through for me. So I'm definitely a servant of the song. And if that means playing exactly the demo, I'm still very happy to do that if it's serving that song and it's the right thing for that song.
Mm,
But also, you do want to have that thing of you want to be headhunted, don't you? You want someone to say, I don't just need a drummer. I want Matt Brooks because I want his feel and his approach. You don't just want to be like, I want a drummer. And it's like, yeah, anybody who can hold two sticks in their hand will do, you know?
oh dear me. Just I follow your Instagram and I just see your life at the moment. I mean, you've got young family. How does it
Yes.
must be difficult, um, you know, sort of juggling everything and trying to keep everyone happy and seeing your kids and things. It's got to be tricky that.
It's very difficult, but
Mm,
I'm the type of person that I'm willing to make sacrifices.
mm,
So, like, whoever I'm working with, they'll tell you on a tour, especially in the UK, they don't really see me much because I live in just outside of Birmingham, so I'm in the middle of the country. So I can
sure.
get home every night, and I'll get home and I'll make sure I wake up and do breakfast with my son before he goes to school, do the school run, try and give my missus a break if possible. So, I have a lay in. Um, I'll do the school run or go to the gym or just do something so you can have a moment for yourself.
Mm,
Go and get a coffee, whatever it is. I've got to leave by 11 o'clock to get to sound check on time. Um, you know, and I do that,
It's
even
great
though
to
it
hear.
means I'm
Great to hear.
really tired as a result of it, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And if I have a chance to go home, I go home.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I finish probably like tomorrow afternoon, early afternoon, and then I'll be back in London again on Sunday. Um, well, I'm gonna go home rather than say, oh, you know what, by the time I get there and I have to get back down on Sundays, I'll just stay over.
Yeah.
So, well, no, I've been away for a week, so I'm going home and I'm gonna go and see my family, even if I'm tired or whatever the case may be.
It's too easy to say, oh, I can't be bothered, isn't it? It's too easy just to go. Yeah, I think that's great that you make the effort to do that. And your children, I don't know how old they are. Are they old enough to know who dad plays for? Do they know?
Yeah, my son is.
Yeah.
He's old enough, but he knows that because it, my wife shows him like my performances anyway, so he knows it. But he's been to rehearsals before
Amazing.
when he was a bit younger, and then you know he's met the band and met Raye, and all of that as well.
That's a proper
So
flex in school,
he,
that isn't it?
he the thing is, I don't even think he's fully aware of the flex part yet because he's only 6.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's more of a case of, oh yeah, my dad plays for Raye. But in his head, it's not like, oh, my dad plays for a superstar who's on TV. It's like, I just know the person who my dad plays for, if that
yeah.
makes sense.
Could be an auntie or
Rather
something.
than, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he calls her auntie. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Well,
So
look,
yeah, I
I've
didn't,
taken
after.
I've taken so much of your time up this morning, and we said half an hour originally, and it always happens. You get talking and
Yeah,
stuff, and
yeah,
honestly, I can't. Just I just wish you all the success in the world with everything. I don't need to do that because it's only going one way. It's all going up, isn't it? It's like the perfect marriage of your groove with Ray's material, and long may it continue. That's all I say. So just amazing. Good luck with the tour, and
thank you very much.
yeah, just keep doing what you do. Fantastic.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And it's been a pleasure having a chat.
Oh,
I've got to say though, I've been admiring all these pedals in the background. I think we've got to talk a little bit about that
uh,
before we
my,
finish
my,
this.
my vintage bass drum pedal. That's a little.
Yeah.
That's a few of them. That's the Ludwig
Wow.
shelf. That's the Ludwig shelf, and then we've got oh, what have we got? Camco, Gretsch,
Nice.
Slingerland, and I'm embarrassed to say I don't know what that one is. I can't think. I think it's Beverly, and then I've got,
Yeah.
and then there's more over there. I don't know, can you see? There's a few more on the top over
Yeah, I
there,
can
and
see a
then,
few there.
but I've got, I've got about 50 or 60, I suppose.
And is
Um,
it just a collection or do you use them?
no, I don't use them. No,
Yeah.
no. There's a couple I'd use. The Gretsch free floater I'd use, and the Camco. I mean, some of those Ludwigs on the bottom are like, I don't know, 1920 or something. So I
Wow.
wouldn't want to use those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got into vintage pedals, and I like. It's strange, and I like the history of who might have played them, whose feet have been on those pedals, where have they
Yeah.
played? Who knows? They might
Yeah.
be nowhere, but you just
Yeah.
you just never know, do you?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't really collect drums because I don't have the space or the money. I have
Yeah.
a few, but not. I don't have like 50 snare drums. I have maybe four, and that's it. Um, so pedals are, and it's a good talking point. It's a good viewpoint behind me as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, the place looks a bit of a tip, but it's kind of it's all right.
Now I've been admiring them the whole this whole chat.
They are, yeah. There's some interesting ones. And then the thing is, to get into collecting pedals, they're not actually that expensive either.
Hmm.
So it's just, no, it just looks cool, and I could
Yeah.
have it all
Very
really
cool.
smart with an office looking, but it's not. That's not me. I'm just
Yeah.
just a bit scruffy. I think that's the way it is. So yeah. So there we go. Look, thanks again, Matt, and honestly, I really appreciate you doing it, giving the time up, and
Oh, no worries,
you've
man.
got a busy few months, and I really hope we can get to say hello at some point. I can shake your hand and say thank you in person. That would be cool. So
Yeah, that'd be great, man. We'll have to figure that out for sure.
yeah, that would be wild. All right, mate. Thanks ever so much. Have a
All right,
great
man.
Have a great day. See you soon.
You too. Cheers.